Israel first shill, Mark Levin here, is going off again, diverting the focus, talking about how Epstein's really not the main problem right now. We have to focus on bombing Iran. We have to focus on spreading democracy, bombing Iran, destroying Iran. And of course, Mark Levin is doing it for the right reasons. He's doing it because he really, really cares, guys. He really cares about the safety of Iranians. It has nothing to do with Israel at all. It's because he's genuinely worried about the human rights abuses and the systemic violence that's going on in Iran. So I'm going to play this, and before I start playing it, I want to make it very clear that there are very horrible things right now happening in Iran, and I object to them, absolutely condemn them. The problem is, why is somebody like this bringing that up and now asking the United States to bomb Iran? For whose interest? Is it really for the Iranian peoples, or is it for something else? Is there something is there ulterior motive? So take a listen to this.
They have death camps, torture prisons, murder people at will, and it's getting worse and worse and worse by the day. The fact that the media are absent for the most part, they have ignored the urgency of the moment. The immediacy of the moment doesn't mean it's not happening, and it is happening. And unfortunately, people seem to be getting used to it. Not there, but outside of there. And I'm here to tell you, I'm never going to get used to this.
Wow. So he's worried now that people are beginning to normalize violence. It's getting too much to him. He's not going to get used to seeing these protests because, gosh, it's really starting to hurt his heartstrings. It's really starting to negatively affect him. It's just too much for the poor Mark Levin, because we both know that Mark Levin is one of the biggest, advocates for human rights. He's great. That's kind of his thing, right? No, he doesn't give a damn. He doesn't give a damn. He's never gave a damn. Here's the thing. I want all Iranian people to have freedom. I want everybody to have freedom everywhere. Everybody that feels like their freedom and their liberties are being taken away from them. As a Palestinian, I'll say first and foremost, I will 100% always advocate for those people. Mark Levin isn't going to be one of those people. Mark Levin would be the same kind of person, along with Ben Shapiro, who would talk about how the Iraqi people are being brutally murdered, are being treated badly, and talking about how we need to bomb Iraq. This is something they both did back in the early 2000s. And they would say it because we have to worry, those poor Iraqis, they're going through so much bad things. They're experiencing so much brutality. We have to bomb Iraq. We have to do it for the Iraqis, as if any of them gave a damn about them. And we went in, and millions of Iraqis, 1 million Iraqis, were dead because of America. Were killed because of America. That's the kind of that's what you can kind of expect more of with Mark Levin and Ben Shapiro. So I'm gonna play a little bit more of it. And here's actually some protests. So let's go ahead and show them some of these protests in Iran.
Those people are suffering from a complete lack of civil liberties, a destitute economy, and a nearly non-existent middle class. It used to have a very vibrant middle class. Not anymore. The regime controls all aspects of the culture, communication, even whether the lights are turned off.
So let's just stop there. I mean, you can't really blame the reason their economy is completely destroyed and decimated is because of America. These protests started because of America sanctioning their economy, so that way they could create civil unrest in order to overthrow the regime. This is the exact same thing that actually the United States did in Venezuela. During Trump's first term, he sanctioned Venezuela in order to also incite regime change. That was the whole goal, and it didn't work. Maduro still hung on to power, and because he still hung on to power, we recently had this military intervention the United States did. It's the same exact sort of playbook. The United States, Israel, they would hope that they can get what they want without actually having to throw any bombs. They'd always rather start with, induced regime change from within. So, can we sanction them? Can we destroy their economy? And would that ultimately elicit the sort of regime change that we want so we can install a pro-Western puppet? Would that do it? Or would it be better to just go ahead and do airstrikes if that's going to work? That's kind of what their game plan is. It always starts off with sanctions in order to incite civil unrest. And if that doesn't work, then they're going to go a notch up and go a notch up and go a notch up. And that's exactly what's happening with Iran. So, of course, you can expect that Ben Shapiro here is doing the exact same thing. Also, actually, this one video, the reason I wanted to play it is because it talks about how Ben Shapiro is just blatantly lying here. And for the record, both of these people have been crickets, total crickets recently after the release of the Epstein files. Here's Ben Shapiro just straight up lying, saying that there was actually never any third parties in the Epstein files. This clip now is resurfacing because people are starting to recognize, wait, Ben Shapiro, you're a bit too silent right now when it comes to the Epstein files, but you're very, very vocal about Iran, of course. What's going on? What's happening there? You have nothing to comment on Epstein's relations to Israeli intelligence? What's going on? So,
thousands of hours of tape. There are, by the way, but they are child pornography. The reason the FBI is not releasing them is because those tapes do not include underage people with third parties on Epstein Island. That is not what the tapes are. Okay, I also have sources in the federal government who are covering this stuff and have seen the documents. Okay, those tapes are just child porn.
So, he, of course, obviously we know he lies. He just kind of lies through his teeth. And what we saw now is that actually, no, wait, we have all of these files showing that Epstein was involved with others. He was organizing parties. Actually, didn't make a video on this yet. I did make a short on it. So if you saw my short yesterday, you'll saw that I posted a short, and it talked about how Epstein actually organized a party in Mexico. And he organized a party with powerful people and politicians in Mexico. And one of the individuals that came was the U.S. ambassador to Mexico. And what ended up happening is the former U.S. ambassador to Mexico ended up engaging in just disgusting stuff with an 11-year-old girl, forcefully, of course, and she became pregnant. And she gave birth to a boy with 100% DNA match via paternity tests to the former U.S. ambassador to Mexico. That entire event was arranged by Jeffrey Epstein. I don't know if these people are just truly disgusting people. People in power just want to do this when they have power. It's just truly disgusting or corrupt. Or if these people are being roofied and then telling them to just do disgusting, abhorrent things. I really don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I kind of don't want to know too much. But what we do know is it's happening. What we do know is it has happened. And for some reason, these political commentators like Ben Shapiro, like Mark Levin, like Laura Loomer, she's been going on a Twitter rampage, not of course about Epstein, but of Iran. And what we recognize is they are hiding the fact that this is going on. And it makes you wonder why. Why are they hiding it? The only reason they could be hiding it is because it ultimately makes their true love Israel, makes their true love Israel complicit. And they don't know how to go about that. I think what we're going to see and what I'm hoping for, I want to really try to get as much out of the Epstein files as we can. I'm hoping that there can be more of a push to get just continued release of whatever else, because of course we know that they're hiding things. I think after that, what I really hope, because we know we're not going to get everything, what I really hope is then there's another massive push. I don't want to start it too soon yet, but I hope there's going to be a massive push for the release of the rest of the 9/11 documents. And I hope it's done before Trump's administration is over, because we really just need to get this stuff out in the public. The more files we get out into the public, the more ultimately Israel is incriminated because of the fact that it's complicit. So the more we could just get this stuff out, the more we wake people up. I think that should be one of the top things we think about doing, as a society, is pushing our administration, pushing our government officials, putting pressure on them to do this sort of thing. I think the 9/11 documents especially are going to be a big wake-up call for people when they see what's really going on behind the scenes, how it's not just, the way the mainstream media portrayed the whole event, and then also made you feel guilty for questioning it and calling you a Looney Tune and an aluminum foil nut job, tinfoil hat person, whatever it may be. There's actually a lot of those people actually had justified criticism and concerns. So that's it for this video, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you like this video, I'd appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button as well. It helps me reach more people like you. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye.